Ba-ba-ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-ba-ba-bum.
Welcome back, everyone. It is Friday, and you know what that means. It is time for another Notes to Self. So last week, Andrew made his podcast, The King of Podcasts. I'm okay with that. Andrew's podcasts do get the most views and the most interest, and that's fine with me. The whole purpose I created this was because I wanted a chance to do what I like and share my thoughts. So I don't care if this specific podcast gets 1 view. I don't care if it gets 3 views. I don't care if it gets 100 views. I don't care. It's a chance for me to kind of share my thoughts, and if someone wants to hear them, great. If not, oh well. So specifically for today's Notes to Self, I was just kind of thinking, and so as of recording this, it is Thursday, the day before we put out the podcast. Only because I have to work today, and I work late, so I won't be able to record tomorrow in time to upload. So I'm doing it today. Anyway, so as I'm getting ready for work, I still have like an hour and a half before work. But as I was getting ready for work, I normally, when I'm in the shower, I'm listening to music, and as I was in the shower, my music was mostly instrumentals from movies and video games, and I couldn't help but think, that's a good topic that we haven't really talked about on the channel, and it's something that at some point I'd like to talk about in a roundtable with Andrew and 2 other people, but it's something I feel like I could talk about here a little bit. So, and thanks to my girlfriend who also suggested maybe I could talk about video game music, I was like, ooh, that's a good topic considering I was listening to it this morning. So, thank you, sweetie. Anyway, so, game music is interesting. And for those of you that don't normally listen to the video game music and you're just like engrossed in your own video game, that's fine. Everyone has their preference. It's not for everyone. But I urge you to listen to a lot of different video game soundtracks because a lot of them do a really great job at bringing out emotion. And what I mean by that is, like, if you think about some of the classic video game tunes, most people easily recognize them right away. Like, everyone knows the Super Mario Brothers ground theme music. The da-da-da-da-da-da, dun. Yeah, everyone knows that. It's memorable, and it sparks in a lot of people nostalgia and things like that. So, it's there. We can see that music has some kind of power. But if you think about, as games have gotten better and more developed, that music has changed as well. And what made me think of this was in my rotation of video game music and everything else, some songs from Undertale came on. And if you haven't played Undertale, if you're a fan of the role-playing game turn-based battle, I suggest trying it out. It is an interesting game. It kind of changes the formula of how a turn-based RPG works. It's actually a lot of fun, and if you haven't played it, you should. If you have played it, you know what I'm talking about. It's a weird kind of game, but it's awesome. So I highly encourage people to do that. But on top of that is the music. The music for the game is very, very good. The music fits the tone, and that's an important thing that a lot of people don't think about. Unless you're a music major or you're a professional musician or a composer or something where your job is about music, you wouldn't think about what music actually does. As I'm pretty sure I might have said on a podcast or on the show before, I was a theater kid. I am a theater kid at heart. I love music. I really do. And so I notice these things. I notice how music works. So as I'm listening to the music from Undertale, I'm taking both to those moments in the game, but I'm also thinking about what emotions they were trying to fit for the scene or the action, and I really trying my best not to spoil anything by giving away hints of what was happening, but the music was really good. And I guess I'll address it again at the end, but if I made a suggestion, I would urge everyone to go out and listen to music from your favorite TV show, movie, video game, whatever. Listen to the music. And if it's something that has just kind of been in the background for you, try to see what emotions the music's trying to make you feel. Is it trying to make you feel warm and safe? Is it trying to make you feel uncomfortable? Is it trying to make you feel angry? Is it trying to make you feel sad? Like, what emotion do you think that the music is trying to tell you to do? And that's the beauty and the design of music. Like, there's plenty of music theorists out there. There's plenty of musicians and composers that'll talk to you all about it. There are numerous YouTube channels out there that talk about how music works and what tones they use. And by tone, I don't mean the sound, but I mean the motion behind it. There's a lot of things to be said about music. And it's something that I'm passionate about. I have stupid fingers, and I can't play music, but I can hear it. And I hear a lot of good music in my head. I just wish I could play it. I can usually hum and whistle it, and that's about the extent of it. If I actually could produce the music, it'd be fantastic. Well, not that the music would be fantastic, but I would feel fantastic about releasing that. But yeah, so as I was saying, Undertale music is really good at evoking the right emotions for the scene. Especially the boss battle music is all unique. And for those of you that know anything about it, you know the difference between the Genocide and the Pacifist run. Long story short, where I decided I'm not going to give any spoilers and everything, one of the most famous pieces of music from that game comes from a boss battle. If you only kill one particular character, I'm giving no information on this. If you want to look it up, by all means, you can spoil it yourself. But the song Megalovania, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying whose boss theme it is. I'm not saying anything like that. That's up to you. But that song is instantaneously recognizable. And if you've played the game and you've played during that boss fight, that music is very fitting. It really throws you into the thick of it, and you feel that sense of urgency. The music is set in that certain way. It's supposed to put urgency in your system. It is meant to make you feel uncomfortable. It's made to make you feel stressed in a high-stress situation, in a boss battle that is ridiculously, insanely fast. And then there's things like Snowden Village, where it's all like happy-go-lucky and makes you feel relaxed, and no one's attacking you there, and it's relaxing. So my point is that music can make you feel things, whether you realize it or not. Another really good example of music in video games is Mass Effect. If you go back to the Mass Effect series, specifically the trilogy, the Commander Shepard trilogy, Andromeda does it also pretty well. The only problem is that a lot of people don't want to give it a chance, so I'm not going to urge you to go play it. If it's not your kind of thing, it's not your kind of thing, that's fine. But the music is really well done there. But the trilogy, the way they do music is very well done. That first game had that kind of sci-fi futuristic sound that's cliche, and it was cliche in 2008 when the game was made, and it's still cliche, and it was cliche before the 2000s when it was still going on. It was the cliche, futuristic boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I'll intersperse some of that music so you can hear at least a small sample of what I'm talking about. But after the first game, there was really a strong push for emotion. The love theme from the first game is a really good one, and they found a way to improve on that in the second game. The second game music, Reflections, which is the song for the romance in the second game, is really powerful. It has that tinge of that original love theme, but it's more melancholy, which fits the tone of the game. And then the third game, you want to talk about that music. Oh dear God. For those of you that haven't played the third Mass Effect, and I'm also talking directly to Andrew because, well, at some point we will be playing all of the Mass Effect games on the channel. That third game, that music really is meant to hit you right in the heart. Like, it is meant to make you feel. which is also why they hired an additional special composer, Clint Mansell, for a couple pieces. Like, you can tell. And for those of you that don't know, there have been some Mass Effect music moments that have appeared in other shows and movies because it's been so influential, especially from the third game. We also have seen side random note that has no relevance on anything else. For those of you that don't know, Mass Effect 2 and 3 had Christopher Lennertz, and I'm drawing a blank on the other person's name, who was another composer on the game for some of the DLC and some of the missions. But Christopher Lennertz ends up also being a composer on Supernatural. And I noticed that while watching it for the third time all the way through the series a couple years ago. I noticed that in the during an episode, I was like, that music sounds like a Mass Effect thing. And I looked in the credits and I saw the composer for the episode was Christopher Lennertz, and I was like, that can't be the same one. And I looked it up and it was. So I think it's cool that, there's a little blending there. But that's just a side note that has no bearing on anything else. It was just me, being crazy and weird. Anyway, back to video game music. That third game was really powerful music-wise, and I urge you, even if you haven't played it and you don't play it, if you can find the music online, the actual soundtrack, take a listen to it. Just listen to a couple tracks and see what emotions are you feeling. It's a good way to figure out, what the song is supposed to be doing. And that would be my urging for anything. Listen to video game music, even if you don't play the game. Just listen to it on YouTube. There's plenty of people that put videos of just the music and the OSTs out there. Listen to the music. And take a little scrap of paper and a pencil or pen and just write down what emotion you feel during the song. And then you can look up, if you really wanted to, and see, oh, this song was used for this moment. And you can then see if, the emotions match. It's a weird, fun thing. If you're a music kid, that's a fun thing to do. If you're not a music person, it's something that makes you think about music a little bit differently. But yeah, that's just, a fun thing to do. For all the people that, make comments and jokes about video games not being good, not being well developed, and the music being subpar, I urge you to go back and listen and do exactly what I just said. Write down the emotions you feel listening to it. Look past what it is and see it for what it could be. That's not to say that every video game has good music. There are some bad examples. Despite the fact that I love all, and I do mean all, Pokemon games and all Pokemon music, there are some moments that the series has gone a little overboard. I present to you Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, the Hoenn region. So many horns. Oh dear God. Not that horns are bad, but when they're little mini synthesized horns on a synthesizer on a Game Boy Advance cartridge, oh dear God, it's so annoying. Ba 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 ba. Yeah, it was not good. Not good. There have definitely been some other games that have had some bad music. Don't get me wrong, Mega Man music is catchy as hell, especially the old school Mega Man. Oh, for an 8-bit cartridge, it was just like, da-da-da-da-da-da. It was actually catchy and got your attention. But oh dear God, was it grating on your ears after a little while. I don't know where I'm going with it. I just kind of wanted to say that, not all music is great in video games, but a wide majority of the music out there is good. I urge anyone that has never given a thought to video game music to just give it a listen. You never know if you'll enjoy it or not. But on that, I would also say, movie soundtracks are also good. If you're the kind of person that is studying or trying to work on something and you are having a hard time concentrating, play some instrumentals in the background. Instrumental music has been shown to actually help with that. If you have words to a song that you know really well, you're going to want to sing along to it, and your attention is going to be focused on that. But if you play instrumental music at a low volume in the background while you're working, your mind is distracted already, so you will be able to focus more on the task ahead of you. So, listen to some game music. That's actually how I stumbled on a couple things when I was studying in undergrad. A couple video game soundtracks. Like, I had never played the Alan Wake series, but the Alan Wake music was perfect. It came up on a playlist of video game soundtracks for studying, and I ended up downloading the songs. It was good. It was also how I found out that oh god, now I forgot what it's called. The actual song, "Hope Runs Deep" from Gears of War 2. That opening theme, kind of with all that emotion. It was on the same playlist, and I was like, "Oh man, I love Gears of War," and I was like, "That's what it's called," and so I found it and downloaded it. My point is, give it a chance. You never know what music you're actually going to enjoy, as far as instrumental. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. I just wanted to talk about music in general, just because I like music. I'm the one that puts the music into the videos and everything. So, and I mean the intros, not the videos itself. That's usually Andrew singing. But yeah, so go out there, listen to some music, give it a chance. You don't know what's going to happen. Try something new. I know that sounds weird and a little bit scary, but it's a good thing to do. Everyone should try something new. Maybe something that's a little bit scary to them. It doesn't hurt to try something. So my urging to you is to go out there and listen to a video game soundtrack. I don't care what game it is. If you want suggestions, please let us know if you want to. You can private message us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Tumblr. You can email us. You can post something to us. All that kind of stuff. You can send us information if you are interested. Andrew and I would be glad to give you some suggestions. If you just want to know what we think in general about some certain video game music, please let us know. Comment on this and let us know what video game music you want to hear us talk about. By all means, I'm sure Andrew and I can both talk about the music for quite a while. Anyway, this was Notes to Self. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.